Welcome back. All right, so we are 1 month to the day into the National Hockey League's 2025-2026 season. So now is as good a time as any to discuss the standings and where teams are at. And teams have played between 13 and 16 games already this season, so it's a very busy month we've had, and all the months of the season are going to be very busy. So we've got the East on the left side of the board, we've got the West on the right side of the board. We're starting things off with the East. And we'll start off looking at the Atlantic's top three, which is Montreal, Detroit, and Boston. Exactly who we thought would be the top three, right? We all said, oh yeah, Montreal, Detroit, and Boston, top three teams in the Atlantic, of course. Montreal's first 20 points in 14 games, a record of 9-3-2, and it doesn't really matter where they're playing. They have a 4-1-1 record at home, 5-2-1 record away from home. Over their last 10 games, they're 6-2-2. So no matter what numbers you look at for Montreal, they're playing really well. Their power play is clicking at the fifth best rate in the National Hockey League. Their penalty kill is 16th, so right in the middle of the pack. But overall, the numbers for Montreal have been very good. If you're looking for some kind of indicator this is about to fall apart, there really isn't one. Montembeault wasn't playing fantastic. Now Montembeault's numbers are getting better, so yeah, Montreal could actually get better over the next month. Detroit being second is a surprise to many. 9-5 record, 18 points in 14 games. At home, they're 5-1 so far. On the road, 4-4. So definitely better at home than on the road. Over their last 10, Detroit is 6-4. But we know if they could be 6-4 in every 10 games from here going forward, they've got an excellent chance of making the playoffs. They're tied for 9th on the power play, and they're 7th on the penalty kill. So their special teams are clicking at a very good rate, both in terms of 5-on-4 and 4-against-5. The Boston Bruins, hey, as a Bruins fan, I am pleasantly surprised thus far. The 9-7 record, 18 points in 16 games, definitely not what I had expected of the team. They're 7-3 at home, which has helped. It has helped that they've played a lot of games at home because on the road they are 2-4. So they have to be a little better on the road. But that 7-3 at home has put them into the playoff hunt, and their last 10 games are 6-4. Very hot and cold. The Boston Bruins have been very hot and cold this year, but when they're producing well, they're an excellent team. On the power play, they're 14th in the NHL, and the penalty kill, they're 9th. With Boston, it really, I think, is going to be how long the goaltending holds up, how well their top two defensemen, McAvoy and Lindholm, play, and then, the scoring. Outside of Pastrnak, will the rest of the scoring continue to prop things up? Because they've definitely had some help. So, yeah, Boston, third place in the Atlantic. So then we go to the top three teams in the Metro. You've got New Jersey, Pittsburgh, and Carolina. Two of those three are not a surprise. The other one's Pittsburgh. New Jersey, 14 games, a record of 10-4, 20 points. 6-0 at home. So very strong home record, 4-4 away from home. So better at home than on the road. Over their last 10 games, New Jersey 7-3. They're 6th on the power play. They're 6th on the penalty kill. New Jersey, very strong numbers. I mean, you might want an away record that's a little bit above 500, but as long as they don't lose a single game at home, I don't think that's a formula that's going to continue throughout the season. But who knows? Maybe they go 41-0 at home. Maybe they prove me wrong there. The Pittsburgh Penguins, 15 games, 9-4-2 record for 20 points. So remarkable run for Pittsburgh. 4-1-1 at home, including that win last night against Washington, which looked like it was in danger, and then they managed to come out and have a strong third period. 5-3-1 away from home for Pittsburgh. Over their last 10 games, they're 6-2-2. So there are some indicators that maybe Pittsburgh's time in this spot might be, coming to an end soon, but really, in all honesty, they're number 1 on the power play. That's going to carry them a long way, and they're number 8 on the penalty kill. So their special teams have been excellent, and as long as Crosby and Malkin are producing the way they are, Pittsburgh's tough to stop. Carolina's 9-4, 13 games, 18 points. So the first thing that stands out is they do have 2 games in hand on Pittsburgh. They also have a game in hand on New Jersey, and they're 2 points behind both. At home, Carolina's 4-1. On the road, 5-3. So 8 games on the road already, comparatively speaking, with 5 games at home. Over their last 10 games, Carolina 6-4. Their power play is bad. 32nd on the power play. That's definitely something that's going to have to get better. 12th on the penalty kill is good, but yeah, that power play just an absolute disaster. So on some level, Carolina being kept up by their 5-on-5 play, and that power play, there's too many talented players for it not to get things together. Your number 1 and number 2 wild cards are Toronto and Philadelphia, respectively. I'm sure Philadelphia is not surprising anybody at this point, but both teams 8-5-1, 17 points in 14 games. Toronto at home 7-2-1, away from home 1-3. So they do need to improve their road record. They've had a lot of games at home thus far. It's not a situation completely dissimilar to Boston's. Over their last 10, Toronto 6-3-1. On the power play, woeful. Honestly, 30th is way too low for a team with Austin Matthews on the power play. Their penalty kill is 9th. So the penalty kill's been good. The power play got to get better. Philadelphia, on the other hand, also 8-5-1, 17 points in 14 games. At home, they're 6-3. Away from home, they're 2-2-1. So there are some teams that are very good at home so far. And generally, those are the ones on this side of the board, it seems, although we'll get into these ones as well. Last 10 games for Philadelphia, an impressive 7-3. So Rick Tocchet is having a good little run here, and if Philadelphia makes the playoffs, I'm going to go out on a limb and say he'll be the finalist for Coach of the Year. They're 15th on the power play are the Philadelphia Flyers, which it feels like is much better than it has been in recent seasons. Their penalty kill has always been good. It is number 5 this year. It is good again. Just below the playoff line lurk the Tampa Bay Lightning. 7-5-2 record, 16 points in 14 games, 3-3 at home, better on the road. 4-2-2 away from home, including winning in Vegas last night. Over their last 10 games, Tampa Bay is 6-3-1. They've definitely bounced back from a slow start. Their power play still lagging a bit at 24th, but I think that's been getting better. Their penalty kill really good throughout, 3rd overall in the penalty kill. The Washington Capitals, 14 games, 7-6-1 record for 15 points. A little bit below what was expected, but they're 4-4 at home, so that's where the disappointment, I think, has been more pronounced. On the road, they're 3-2-1. Over their last 10 games, surprisingly, only 4-5-1 for the Washington Capitals. So I do think they're going to be better than that. Last night's game against Pittsburgh, maybe that's a bit of a wake-up call for them. They're 26th on the power play, as Ovechkin's power play numbers have dropped off, so have Washington's, and their penalty kill 24th. So special teams aren't really helping Washington right now, and they haven't been good enough to stay on this side of the board. For Florida, they are also 7-6-1, 15 points in 14 games. At home, 5-1-1, very strong at home. Just 2-5 away from home, but last night they got a win in LA, so maybe this is a sign Florida's road woes are coming to an end. Their last 10 games, they are 4-5-1, so that needs to get better. They're 18th on the power play. They're 22nd on the penalty kill. And for a lot of Florida fans, I'm sure they're looking forward to next month when the expectation is that we will see Matthew Tkachuk back in the lineup for the Florida Panthers. Ottawa, 14 games, 6-5-3 record, so also 15 points. At home, they're 4-2-1. Away from home, 2-3-2. So 2 wins in 7 games on the road. They have to improve that. Their home record's not bad. Their last 10 games also not bad at 5-2-3. Their power play's good. 7th overall in the power play. Their penalty kill, a surprising last place in the National Hockey League on the penalty kill. 32nd. That has to get better. Travis Green's going to be swearing about that one for a while if it doesn't get better. The New York Islanders, 6-5-2, so 14 points in 13 games. At home, decent record of 4-2-1. On the road, 2-3-1, so want to be a little better on the road. Their last 10 games, they're 6-2-2. So the Islanders winning some games here, keeping themselves in the hunt. Their power play, though, not as much. 26th. They're tied for 26th. They're number 19 on the penalty kill, so both of their special teams need to be better. It's a conversation we had last year about the Islanders as well. Columbus, 13 games, 7-6 record, so they have 14 points. 3-3 at home, 4-3 away from home. Last year they were elite at home. They're not as elite this year. They have to find somewhere to be elite or run the risk of dropping out of a race here, especially with Philadelphia and Toronto getting better. Columbus, 6-4 in their last 10 games. On the power play, they're 25th. I'm surprised they're not higher. 30th on the penalty kill. Kind of surprised that number's not higher as well. So special teams not helping Dean Evison's team right now, and we'll see if those numbers start to turn around for them. The New York Rangers, bewildering record for the Rangers. 6-2, 14 points in 14 games. That's not the bewildering part. They were bewildering 0-5-1 at home, and an impressive 6-1-1 away from home. So if they're on the road, they're probably going to win. If they're at home, nope. Last 10 games, they're 4-4-2. Those are split between home and road games, of course. They're 31st on the power play. That's unacceptable. That's absolutely unacceptable. They're tied for ninth on the penalty kill. I know they missed Kreider on the power play, but they should be better on the power play than that. They need more from Panarin, really, honestly. And then last place in the West, and not a huge surprise, Buffalo's last place in the West, but they've been good at points. They're 5-5-4, 14 points in 14 games. The bad news is, this is the portion of their schedule where they're home heavy. 5-3-2 at home, just 0-2-2 away from home. So 10 of their 14 games have been at home, and they're finding themselves outside the playoffs at this point, last place in the East. And over their last 10, 4-2-4. So they're getting points. They've only had 2 regulation losses, but they've also only won 4 of their last 10. So glass half empty, glass half full. On the power play, they are 20th. Should be better than that. First on the penalty kill, though, which is a bit of a surprise to see the Buffalo Sabres first on the penalty kill. But it's above 90%, so there you go. All right, let's talk about the West, shall we? So we start with the top 3 teams in the Central, which are Colorado, Winnipeg, and Utah. 2 of those 3, not a huge surprise. Utah is not a huge surprise that they're good, but it is a bit of a surprise how good they've been. And I say that even though recent games, it feels like they've come down to earth a little bit. So for Colorado, 14 games, 8-1-5 record, 21 points, first overall in the league. 4-0-2 at home, 4-1-3 away from home. So they get points. 5-1-4 in their last 10 games. So they've only won 5 of their last 10, but they've also only lost 1 in regulation in their last 10. 23rd on the power play. That needs to improve, especially considering who they've got on their power play unit. Second on the penalty kill. So really strong penalty killing numbers from Colorado thus far. Winnipeg, 9-4 record for them. So 18 points in 13 games. They are 5-3 at home, 4-1 away from home. So whether they're at home or they're away from home, Winnipeg might be a little bit better away from home than at home. That one loss away from home, that was in LA, and they don't beat LA. So last 10 games, they are 7-3. Winnipeg's playing well. They're tied for ninth on the power play. They are 4th in the National Hockey League on the penalty kill. So special teams are working at both ends of the ice, and generally things are pretty good for the Jets. Utah, 9-5 record, so 18 points in 14 games for them. 4-1 at home, 5-4 away from home. The record really impressive since they revealed their new mascot. They went on a winning streak there, because why not? The last 10 games, they are 7-3. Same record as the Jets. 21st on the power play, 21st on the penalty kill as well. Their special teams need to get a little bit more special. But Utah, definitely, third place in that division. Not as secure in third place as they might have been not too long ago, maybe a week ago, but at any rate, we'll talk about that. Let's get to the top 3 in the Pacific, though, before we get there. Anaheim, Vegas, and Seattle. Not the 3 teams that were expected to be in the top 3. Vegas, sure. Anaheim, not so much. Seattle, probably not. So we start with Anaheim. 9-3-1, 19 points in 13 games. Don't look now, but they've got a game in hand in Colorado, first place in the NHL, and they're only 2 points back. What a world we live in. For Anaheim, they're 4-1 at home, 5-2-1 away from home. They're 7-2-1 in their last 10. They've just been very impressive. I don't know how long this is going to go on for, but maybe it's sustainable. They're 11th on the power play. Their penalty kill needs to get better at 22nd. But that 11th on the power play is remarkable, because I'm pretty sure they were 32nd on the power play last year. Definitely the additions made in the offseason and all these young players coming up have helped Anaheim special teams tremendously. Vegas, also 13 games played, 7-3-3 record for 17 points. 4-2-1 at home, which doesn't seem as impressive or as intimidating as their normal home record. 3-1-2 away from home. Last 10 games, they are 6-3-1. They're 8th on the power play. Not a huge surprise. Their power play has been good in recent seasons. They're tied for 17th on the penalty kill, so they'll want to improve that a little bit. For Seattle, they're 6-3-4, so 16 points in 13 games for the Seattle Kraken. 4-1-2 at home, 2-2-2 away from home. So they need to be a little better on the road than what they've been thus far if they want to keep a playoff spot. Last 10 games, 4-3-3, so there's some signs of them falling down potentially. Keeping in mind the Pacific, it might be a little easier to finish third than it is in the other divisions. 16th on the power play for Seattle, 26th on the penalty kill for Seattle. So their penalty kill definitely needs to get better. I don't see any reason why it can't with the hard workers that they have on the Seattle roster. And then we get to the wild cards. Dallas and Edmonton are the two wild cards. Dallas 7-4-3, so 17 points in 14 games. They are 1 point back of Utah and Winnipeg in that division. So it is possible Dallas jumps into a top 3 spot soon. 4-3-1 record at home, 3-1-2 away from home. So points percentage wise, a little better on the road than at home. Overall, their last 10 games, 4-3-3. They're not quite the Dallas Stars yet. Third on the power play, so that's fine, but their penalty kill at 27th, that's got to improve. So, for Dallas, it's been kind of a bit of a middling production and middling results thus far compared to what was expected, but they're still the number 1 wild card. Edmonton, number 2 wild card at 6-5-4. So 16 points in 15 games, 4-0-2 record at home, so they haven't lost in regulation there yet. But away from home, a bit of a different story. 2-5-2. Have to be better on the road. Last 10 games, they are also 4-3-3. They are second on the power play. Not a huge surprise. They're 15th on the penalty kill. So what's hurting them seems to be 5-on-5 play because special teams, they're quite good. Then we get to LA, who are below the playoff line, although they have the exact same record as the Oilers. 6-5-4, 16 points in 15 games, 1-4-2 at home. That is not good enough. Last year, LA was fantastic at home. This year, it looks like they've switched back again. They were great on the road 2 years ago, bad at home, and now it looks like that team's back because on the road, they are 5-1-2. Their last 10 games, they're 5-2-3, so only 2 losses in regulation in their last 10. 22nd on the power play, though, and 20th on the penalty kill. Really, with LA, it depends on the day. It is so hard to get a read on the LA Kings right now. They've won 6 out of 15, but they've also only lost 5 in regulation out of 15. So there you go. Interesting numbers. And then we get to Chicago. 14 games, 6-5-3 record, 15 points. They're above NHL 500. 3-2-1 at home, and importantly, 3-3-2 away from home. So 500 on the road. It is NHL 500. I know you only won 3 out of 8 games, but you're still 500. I know that throws some people off, but it's just 50% of the points, right? Last 10 games, Chicago 5-3-2. So decent numbers for Chicago. They're staying in the hunt. 17th on the power play, which is below where they were last year. 14th on the penalty kill. That's a good improvement. I'm pretty sure their penalty kill had some issues last season. And Chicago, they look pretty good. Vancouver, it depends on the day with Vancouver, doesn't it? 7-8 record for the plucky Canucks, 14 points in 15 games. 2-4 at home, so not great. And that game against Chicago, that was quite the meltdown in the third period. They can't keep doing that. On the road, they are 5-4 so far this season, so better on the road than at home. 4-6 in their last 10 games, so Vancouver's numbers just not trending in the right direction. 19th on the power play, not a huge surprise there. The penalty kill being 31st, that's with Adam Foote behind the bench, that's just unacceptable. Nashville, 5-7-4 record for Nashville, 14 points in 16 games for them. At home, 4-4-2, so they've had a lot of home games. On the road, not as great, 1-3-2 on the road. Over their last 10, 3-5-2 record for the Nashville Predators. They're 28th on the power play, not a huge surprise considering how Stamkos has struggled, Marchessault has struggled, and they don't have a lot of really great power play players at this point. 13th on the penalty kill. Not a huge surprise their penalty kill is good, again, considering the hardworking, blue-collar kind of players that they have. For San Jose, 5-6-3 record, 13 points in 14 games. Yeah, San Jose's in the mix. I think that's great. 2-3-3 at home. They're going to want to improve their home record, but 3-3 on the road. 5-4-1 in their last 10. Yeah, they might be kind of, feeling a little better about themselves right now. 13th on the power play. That's good. 25th on the penalty kill. A bit of a surprise because San Jose should have a better penalty kill at this point in time in the season, I would think. Even when they were bad, their penalty kill was generally pretty good. Minnesota, 5-7-3 record, 13 points in 15 games. 3-3-2 at home, so they need to improve that a little bit. 2-4-1 away from home. Definitely need to improve that as well. Last 10 games, they're 3-4-3. So Minnesota's had its struggles with 3 wins in their last 10. The power play, 4th. That is buoyed a lot, though, by the early season numbers. So that first week, their power play was clicking at, I think it was above 50%. So they're fourth, but it's been dropping off since then. Their penalty kill 29th, so that needs to get better. Their 5-on-5 play needs to get better. There's a lot in Minnesota that needs to get better, but St. Louis is in a similar position. 5-8-2 record, so 12 points in 15 games for them. 2-4-2 at home and 3-4 away from home. You can tell it's getting bad with St. Louis because I've started to hear discussions of 2019. Like, well, remember, they were really bad back in 2018, 2019, and then they charged and they won the Stanley Cup. So when those conversations start coming up again, it tells you how St. Louis is in terms of the standings. They're down towards the bottom. The last 10 games, St. Louis 2-6-2. So that number, that has to get better. 12th on the power play, not bad, but their penalty kill at 28th does need to get better. Which brings us to Calgary. The 32nd and final team in this journey is the Calgary Flames. 4-9-2 record, 10 points in 15 games. 2-3-1 record at home, 2-6-1 record away from home. So a little better at home than away from home. Both records below NHL 500, of course. Last 10 games also below 500, 3-5-2 record. Although I do believe they've won their last two. So maybe Calgary's trending in the right direction. 29th on the power play, that has to get better. 17th on the penalty kill. Tied for 17th on the penalty kill. So the overall numbers for Calgary, not fantastic. But as I've been saying in videos, and I'll say it again here, for a 32nd place team, Calgary's not bad. And in recent seasons, that hasn't been the case. The 32nd place team has usually been just bad. So it's nice not to have a team that's just really bad out of the gate. We'll see if that continues to be a thing 2 months in. And I'll do a video on December 7th about how things are in the National Hockey League standings. But for now, I'm done. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It's greatly appreciated. I will talk to you again soon.